Hey guys, welcome back to another video on FootyPod. So this is a really exciting time for all us football fans because the Premier League and La Liga and all the top five leagues are gonna be back in a few weeks. And wow, it's been quite good. Holidays. Then we had the Euros. Although England lost, it wasn't quite as good, but we still reached the final. So yeah, but now it's another exciting time because we're doing our Premier League predictions. Right. So we're going to be, you know how this works because we're going to be predicting where the teams will finish, talk a bit about them, what transfers they made, how they've done in preseason. And judging by that, we're going to be putting them in a Premier League table where we think they're going to finish. So let's get started with 20th. Who have we got?
So I've gone for Norwich. Also, I'll be going first 'cause I need to go soon. Norwich, I think I didn't really watch much of the Championship, and I know they went automatically up, but I don't know, I just don't think they're a brilliant side. And whenever they're in the Prem, they're just a bit dead. I mean, they were all right at the start of the season, last time they were in the Premier League, but after that, once teams worked out how they played, they were so easy to beat, which was why they won a lot at the start, and then they just fell off. 19th, I've got Watford. I think similar kind of thing. They're never brilliant in the Premier League. They normally just hang on, but I don't think they'll have the quality this time. 18th, I've actually gone for Newcastle, mostly just because I hope they get relegated, not because they probably will. They'll probably just hang on in 16th, 17th, but I want them to. 17th, I've gone Palace. Them and Newcastle is a difficult one, but I think Palace normally do just hold on, but they don't have Roy Hodgson anymore, and they've got a new, pretty inexperienced manager, so it could be very difficult for them. 16th, Brighton. They're never very good, but they always seem to just about get enough points to survive, so that's why I've just put them 16th, a bit dead. And then 15th, Burnley. Exactly the same, just relatively boring football, but it works, and they normally stay up. 14th, Southampton. Once again, just relatively average season, I think. They'll survive comfortably, but I don't think they'll do much. 13th, I've actually gone for Brentford. I think Brentford will do a Leeds from last season and play pretty well. I think it all depends on if Ivan Toney scores a lot of goals. If he doesn't, they'll have problems because he scored so many of their goals in the Championship. So without him scoring a lot, it could be a problem for them. 12th, I've gone for West Ham. I think even though they did so well last season, that just wasn't West Ham. And I can see them doing it again, but I think they don't have Lingard anymore. I just can't really see them doing it again, if I'm honest. They could finish higher than 12th, but only I'd say as high as 9th, maybe. 11th, I've gone Leeds, similar position as last season. And I think unlike Sheffield United in their first season in the Premier League for a while, they played so well last season. Even towards the end of the season, they were still playing very well. Whereas with, say, Sheffield United after lockdown, they just weren't very good. And I think teams eventually worked them out, whereas Leeds are a very difficult team to play against. 10th, middle of the table, I've gone for Wolves. They've kind of dropped off in the last season compared to sort of how they were doing. But I think they'll be up a bit more in the table, mid-table, try and get some transfers in and push for Europe. 9th, I've gone for Aston Villa. I think if Grealish leaves, they'll be a lot lower because obviously he's so important to them. But if he stays, I can see them pushing for Europe. 8th, I've gone for Arsenal. Classic Arsenal. Not even making it into Europe, just being right on the edge, fighting for the Europa Conference League with Tottenham. Very prestigious trophy, that one. 7th, I have gone with Spurs. I mean, you never know with Spurs. They can be really good, and then they just don't play well, or they play well at the start and then just fail. It all depends if Harry Kane leaves. If he leaves, then I think Spurs will really, really be bad. 6th, I've actually gone for Everton, which might surprise people, but I think new manager, he is experienced and he was a good manager. He hasn't been as good in recent years, but I think he might be quite good. And I mean, as we saw from last season, they were really good at the start. So if they can play well, I think they'll do well. Leicester 5th, I think they'll just bottle it again. They'll be in 3rd the whole season, then lose last 2 games and come in fifth, just missing out on Champions League. I just don't think they really have the squad depth that other teams have. Fourth, I've gone for Liverpool. I think it'll be similar like last season. They'll just get into fourth, have an all right season, but nothing brilliant, I don't think. Third, I've gone for United. Obviously, they've brought Sancho in. Vhun's almost definitely joining them, so they're decent additions. But United can be a bit inconsistent. I know there are quite a few teams like that, but it all depends on how some of their best players play, like Bruno and even Cavani. To be honest, he's pretty good. Depends how well they can play. Second, I've gone for Chelsea. I mean, Chelsea and United, they're always around there. Never really know where they're going to finish exactly. But I've put them in second. I just think that after winning the Champions League last season, still happy about that. They should really push towards the top, but you never really know. Sometimes they can be a bit dodgy, but Tuchel's got them playing well. And first, I have gone for Man City. I think after losing the Champions League, they're really going to try and put a foot down and just like dominate the league. But once again, you never really know because the start of last season, they were awful, but they managed to pick it up very well. So yeah, that's mine. Just to recap, top four: Man City, Chelsea, United, Liverpool, and relegated Newcastle, Watford, and Norwich. That's what I've gone for. So Vhun, I believe it's on to you.
Right. Yeah, so as Daniel told his predictions, that's his thoughts. Mine are mostly similar, but yeah, but some of them are different. So for 20th, I've gone the same as Daniel, Norwich. They have made a bit of progress in the transfer window, bringing in Milo Rashica, Ben Gibson, Billy Gilmore, of course, on loan from Chelsea. But I just feel like they're gonna, as they did in the 1920 season, they're gonna start really well. Timu Puki is gonna fire in some goals, but then they're just gonna drop off as they did and just finish bottom. And then I've gone for Watford in 19th place. Just don't think they have the squad to survive in the Premier League. We're gonna be enjoying the Ben Foster cycling GK vlogs though, so that'll be good. But then I've also gone with Newcastle to be relegated. They've done nothing in the transfer window. Their preseason was terrible. They lost to York City, so I just feel like they are Steve Bruce. His time's up at Newcastle, and they're just gonna get relegated. 17th, I've gone Crystal Palace. They've obviously got Wilfred Zaha, Eberici Eze, who's actually injured, so that'll have quite a toll on his progress at Crystal Palace. And then Zaha is just like really wanting to leave. This season, he's gonna have a very, very bad season. He's not gonna be able to carry Palace anymore. Most of their players have left. Roy Hodgson's left. Patrick Vieira, he's come in, young coach, but just don't think he'll do as well as people are expecting him to do. So Brighton have sold a lot of players. They've of course sold Ben White, their second backup goalkeeper, Matthew Ryan, Jahan Baksh to Feyenoord. This will really cost them. Ben White's transfer, they've not bought in a proper replacement yet, but this transfer is really going to cost them now. I think they are going to finish 16th because they're just not going to have a good season. Of course, he's a hipster, Graham Potter hipster type of manager, as the Irish guy says. But yeah, and that's going to be proven this season. So Wolverhampton Wanderers, their project is collapsing. Like every single Portuguese project basically. Nuno has left, their manager, to go to Spurs. Rui Patricio, their main goalkeeper, has left. They brought in Jose Sarr. I think he's gonna have a good season at Wolves, but not enough to basically get them higher up in the table. Yeah, so they are 15th. Burnley 14th, one step up basically. Just a classic Sean Dyche season. Just like just getting wins, but in a weird like way. They just gonna fight for wins, not gonna be as technical, but yeah, they're just gonna get wins out of somehow. So yeah, Burnley are gonna just have their classic season, 14th. Southampton are gonna finish 13th now. They have they had a bad season, and last season they dropped off a lot from the 1920 season, and yeah, I think that they are just not gonna improve. They're just gonna finish 13th this time. Um, for 12th, I've gone Brentford. I think they're gonna have like a Sheffield United type of season. They are gonna be good. They're gonna be really good, and Ivan Toney's gonna be firing in the goals for them. He's gonna be a fantasy Premier League favorite for all of us. I've got him in my team. We're actually gonna build a fantasy Premier League team soon, so that's coming up. Watch out for that video. 11th, Leeds. Well, the Irish guy from HITC Sport is not gonna be happy because Leeds have finished top of the tape. No, what am I saying? They've finished top half, and he is gonna have to get a Bamford tattoo, a Patrick Bamford tattoo, today as we're recording this. And yeah, I think they're just not. They're gonna drop off a little bit, but it's gonna be still a good season for Leeds. Um, so next up is Everton. Of course, Carlo Ancelotti left. Gylfi Sigurdsson's banned. If you don't know about that, just Google it. It's weird. Yeah, so they bought in Rafael Benitez, which is a good signing for a manager. It's a good replacement, but he's a former Liverpool legend actually. So I think that might just have an influence from the fans. He might just crack under the pressure of the fans that he's a Liverpool man, just a Liverpool legend. So I think yeah, they're gonna have a good season. But James Rodriguez, he's actually not in Benitez's plans, as he said in one of his interviews. So he's not gonna have a good season. Aston Villa are gonna finish 9th, I think. So this is a very big step up for Aston Villa. They're gonna challenge for Europe, but they're gonna just fall short at the final hurdle. And then yeah, they bought in really good sign. Jack Grealish is actually about to leave the club for Manchester City for 100 million, which is weird. 100 million for Jack Grealish. Yeah, he's a good player. He's not as good though as 100 million. So yeah, that's a bit of a weird transfer. But Villa are gonna profit from it. They've bought in Emi Buendia for around 35 million from Norwich. He showed glimpses of his potential in the Premier League. He uh, he really starred in the Championship, but I think this is where he's gonna mature in the Premier League, as people are gonna like him more. He's gonna get more mature and play against the bigger teams, which will make him a better player. And then they've also brought in Ashley Young, bit of a pointless transfer, I say. Although he used to play for United in the past, he's been quite good for Inter Milan, but maybe he's not. He's 35 years old, so maybe he might just not perform as well in the Premier League. And then yeah, that's it for pretty much for Aston Villa. 8th, I've gone West Ham. They've been pretty good. Said Benrahma had a good preseason. Maybe he will start firing, but they have lost Jesse Lingard. Maybe just maybe he would be the replacement for Lingard this season. 7th, Arsenal, stinker of a preseason. Um, not exactly stinker. They lost to Hibernian, Chelsea, and stuff. So I think that's what's gonna it's gonna be a mediocre season for Arsenal. They're just gonna be fighting for the Conference League, which is pointless, and it's actually a big letdown. They were the Invincibles at one point. It's a disgrace. So 6th, Leicester. They're gonna drop off by one place. Just stay in top four, bottle it again. But yeah, but they're gonna have a worse season, I think. Jamie Vardy's 35. They have bought in Patson Daka, but maybe this is his like adapting season where he's gonna adapt in the Premier League, and then next season he might just fire in the goals. And then 5th, Spurs. They bought in Nuno Espirito Santo, but Harry Kane's gonna leave. But considering that, I'm still gonna put them 5th because I think they have the quality. Nuno can change around the players. I think Dele Alli will have a good season. Son, of course. Yeah, so I think Spurs will have a pretty good season this time around. Fourth, moving into the top four, Liverpool. Well, they've got Van Dijk and Gomez back, which is a big boost for them. But considering the top three teams, how strong they are, I think they're just not gonna be properly as good. So I think Liverpool finished top four. They bought in Konate to improve their defense along with Van Dijk. So I think that's a good signing for them. Third, this is the second and third spot was a pretty tough one to debate actually. It's between Man United and Chelsea, but I have put Man United here. As much as I hate to say it, but so they bought in Sancho, they bought in Varane. I think Varane's gonna have a really good partnership with the Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire's gonna tackle Varane, has the pace to support him if a player gets past Maguire. So I think that's gonna be a good partnership. Jadon Sancho, huge signing. I think he's gonna have a good season, but not as good as people are expecting. I think just he's gonna have he's gonna show glimpses of his great how good a player he is, but just not gonna adapt to the Premier League this time. Second, Chelsea, champions of Europe. Like they've got a brilliant squad. Just Thomas Tuchel as manager. They've got Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, who are gonna fire this season. I think Havertz is gonna have a really good season for Chelsea, and I think Chelsea are gonna just really be really good, but just fall short of the title. And first, Man City, as Daniel said, they've lost the Champions League to Chelsea, of course, but this time, hopefully, they're gonna win the no, not hopefully, but they're gonna win the Premier League this time. I think they've got really good players. Phil Foden, Aguero's left. They've not them, and they're linked with bringing in Harry Kane and Grealish. If they bring in these two players, they're going to be dominant in not only in England but in Europe for the next 5 years So for the next 5 years, Man City are going to dominate. I think. So those are my predictions. And moving on to Alex finally.
Okay, so I'm not going to waffle. I'm just going to get straight to my predictions. First, Man City. Second, United. Third, Chelsea. Fourth, Liverpool. Fifth, Leicester. Sixth, Spurs. Seventh, Everton. Eighth, Leeds. Ninth, Arsenal. 10th, Villa. 11th, West Ham. 12th, Brentford. 13th, Southampton. 14th, Wolves. 15th, Brighton. 16th, Palace. 17th, Burnley. 18th, Newcastle. 19th, Watford. And 20th, Norwich. And that's all we have time for this episode. If you enjoyed, please do make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. It really does help out our channel and keeps us motivated to keep on making content. And we'll see you in our next video, which should be coming shortly. Bye-bye.